back to IGN Live at Comic-Con. The Walking Dead comic series may have just come to a dramatic and satisfying conclusion, but the hit TV show of the same name still has a lot more gut-wrenching, walker-stalking, very unfamily-friendly stories to tell. With me to spill some secrets about the brand new season of The Walking Dead is the cast of the show: Ryan Hurst, Cooper Andrews, Avi Nash, Nadia Hilker, and Eleanor Matsuura. Hey, guys.
Hi.
So apparently you guys just want to talk about Dark Crystal, though. That's what you're doing. You're watching that. You're so excited.
Talk about that.
No, seriously, I was talking about how I've interviewed some of the other cast members. I think this is my first time meeting all of you. We have so many newbies to the show with the time jump and everything. What has been that experience like coming to the show and making it your own as we're kind of like going into a new generation of The Walking Dead?
Wow. Well, yeah.
Who wants to take this?
I got this.
Take it.
Okay.
You've been around.
You're the oldest.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me tell you my years of experience of this show. No, it's just it's knowing that now that Andy has left the show and he left this super important job on all of us to continue the work and telling the story, knowing that the story is the most important thing. And this season is an awesome change from what we've done in the past, and I'm really hoping Andy's gonna be proud of what we've done.
Now, we have a lot of good guys on this couch and one really, really bad guy. Like, I know there's a time jump in the show, but we went from bad to worse in season 9. And I'm curious, for you all as fans of it, no bias, who's worse, Negan and the Saviors or the Whisperers?
They're far worse. The Whispers are their terror that lives next door. I mean, they're not forcing us to join their ranks. They're not holding anyone hostage. They're sneaking into our house, putting heads on stakes, and then laughing about it in the forest.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, Ryan?
No, that's a fair assessment. You know, I mean, I've always been a giant fan of the show to begin with, and what I was always taken by and excited to bring to the fans in the antagonists, the evolution of antagonists on the show has always been intriguing to watch, but is to see the Whisperers, are just sort of impenetrable as enemies because they're just so crazy. There's no semblance of humanity left. There's nothing, it's a little bit like, in No Country for Old Men, like Anton Chigurh. It's like you can't reason with this person because they're just on another level of cuckoo, and that's what I was always impressed by. And I think we're making good on that promise of really that there's no dealing with these Whisperers.
There's like a cold logic to them too. Like their society makes sense to them in a way that, like, to us, it is so crazy.
As far as they're concerned, this is how the world works, and they don't see that they're just trying to educate us that this is the way things actually go and it's survival of the fittest. And I think the thing in this season that we're all trying to deal with and why we're so paranoid and is because they unraveled us so easily.
Now, Alpha doesn't seem like the most stable leader in what we saw in the second half of last season. Like, how loyal is Beta to her, and how tight a grip do you think she has on her people after we have kind of seen her spiral in the end of the last season?
That's a very good question. I mean, it's
Takes a bow.
No, I mean, we start to investigate sort of the trappings of the Whispers, and more importantly, sort of why the seeds of Alpha and Beta and why they sort of became such a monstrous killing team together. I can't tell you too much more than that.
Yeah, but you guys are a little bit into filming this next season. It was so nice finally at the end of the last season to see all the groups come back together. Sucks that it has to be in time for another major threat and villain group. But what can you kind of tease about the way everyone needs to unify to fight the Whisperers and what comes next?
Come on.
Hi. I think we need to, as you said, come together, and there's not just one right way, and it's not one leader, and
Yeah, for sure. It's like everyone's kind of like looking at themselves, right? Like going like, are we making the right decision?
Yeah.
What we thought was really stable is now we're starting to question each other and everything. Yeah, it's kind of turned the natural order of things upside down. I think that's what the Whisperers have done. And so everyone, like in a group that you thought maybe was more solid before, you're starting to now see cracks appear.
Did you see that? Like this beautiful harmony?
I loved it. It was
That's
beautiful. You guys
Magna
practiced this.
and
before. Did you
Yumiko.
steal my
It's like,
question so you could
I just
prepare for
say a little and then I just look at my girl and she's just, I got you, babe. And
Now, my last question I have to bring up. There was a delightful cliffhanger, big nod to people who've read the comics with the radio at the end of last season that hints, we have these societies, we have the Whisperers who seem so sure that this is the only way forward.
Yes, it is.
It is, apparently. That's the end of The Walking Dead. Everyone becomes a Whisperer.
Yes,
But-
people's skin.
But there is this hint that, there is the Commonwealth, another big group, a larger world out there. What can you say about that theme of how society moves forward and that idea of a bigger world out there? How does that impact season 10?
Yawn.
Or we can just talk about the Commonwealth and you can tell me everything there is
Well, we
to know
can't. We
about
know
it.
nothing about that.
What, the
first of all.
common what?
We can't even spell that many letters together.
Yeah, but no. What I am excited about is that everyone that has survived. It's been 10 years. Everyone in their own right is some kind of badass, and it's people being their best against against villains that are at their best, and seeing everyone have to put their full facilities and use it that's what I'm excited about. Yeah.
I'm very intrigued to see where this season goes next. And hopefully, well, I don't know. Can I say hopefully we'll see you again next year at Comic-Con, or should I be crossing my fingers that the Whisperers are...
That's very fishing.
I know. On that note, thank you all so much for being here. The brand new season of The Walking Dead hits AMC this October. We are only just getting started with our non-stop Comic-Con coverage here on IGN Live. So stick around for more. We'll be back after a quick break.